Hi all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I almost don't even know what to say about the story I'm about to tell you. You may have already heard it. If you haven't, then strap in, because this one's going to be brutal. You may not want to listen to it with little ears around. On February 9th of 2021, police in Chickasha, Oklahoma say they responded to a 911 call at a home on Minnesota Avenue. When they arrived on scene, they said they could hear a woman yelling for help from inside the home. Police made their way into the home and found 4 people. 2 had been stabbed to death, and 1 woman was suffering from stab wounds to her face. The 4th person, who was the suspect in this case, Lawrence Paul Anderson, suffered from unspecified injuries. Police identified the injured woman as Anderson's aunt, Delcy Pye. She had been stabbed in both her eyes. And the 2 deceased victims as Anderson's uncle, Leon Pye, and his 4-year-old niece, Chaos Yates. Anderson and his aunt were transported to the hospital to be treated for their injuries, and 2 days later, police questioned Anderson about what happened. That was when they found out that his aunt, uncle, and niece were not his only victims. Anderson told investigators that on February 9th he forced his way into a home down the street from his aunt and uncle's home, and he stabbed and murdered 41-year-old Andrea Lynn Blankenship. Then, he said, he cut her heart out. He said he took her heart back to his aunt and uncle's home, where his 4-year-old niece was visiting, and cooked her heart with potatoes and tried to force feed it to his family. Then, he said, he stabbed his uncle and niece to death and stabbed his aunt in the eyes. Police said they found Anderson's 4th victim on February 11th when they entered into Andrea Blankenship's home and found her mutilated body. Anderson was arrested and transported to jail, where he has been charged with 3 counts of murder, 1 count of assault with a deadly weapon, and 1 count of maiming. Now, the Grady County District Attorney spoke to the media about the case, saying that Anderson had just been released from prison in January of 2021, just 3 weeks prior to committing the horrific murders. According to KTLA News, he was released from prison as part of a mass commutation effort that went into law in 2019 that accelerated the release of hundreds of prison inmates. Even though Anderson was a repeat offender, a judge commuted his sentence, and he was released early. According to the Oklahoman, Anderson was sent to prison in 2006 for attacking his girlfriend with a gun and possessing crack cocaine with intent to distribute. He returned to prison in 2012 to serve 15 years for selling crack cocaine near an elementary school, but was released in less than 5.5 years. Then he returned to prison for a 3rd time in 2017 for gun and drug possession, and he was released in January of 2021. Then, just 3 weeks later, he murdered 3 people, including a 4-year-old little girl, and maimed a 4th. Not only did they say that the little 4-year-old girl was his very own niece, but he murdered his uncle and maimed his aunt, who were kind and generous enough to provide a home for him after he was released from prison. Pure evil. Little 4-year-old Chaos's parents said they dropped her off to spend time with her grandparents earlier that day so they could run errands. He murdered her because she was there. Her father told the news, "For me right now, it's just like random bursts of sorrow, complete sadness that overtakes you." Then the killing of Andrea Blankenship just down the street. I wonder if she even knew him, or what terror she felt as he was breaking through her door. 1 minute she was living her life, the next she was face to face with her murderer. Investigators said that included in the search warrant for the Pye's home were the pots and pans and kitchen utensils Anderson used when he cooked her heart. Sick bastard. The search warrant also read that Anderson said he tried to feed his family her heart to release the demons, he said. So, I guess he enjoyed prison so much that he was pissed off that they kept releasing him, and he needed to find a really good way to make sure they never released him again. Anderson attended his first hearing on this case remotely on February 23rd, where he was said to have cried throughout the hearing and told the judge that he did not want bail. Well, that's good, because his bail was denied. And the district attorney said the death penalty is on the table, pending a conversation with the rest of the victim's family. He also said that Anderson should have never been released from prison early. He doesn't believe he should have ever been able to qualify for a commuted sentence. He said Anderson was originally sentenced to 20 years. Then his sentence was shortened to 9 years, and he was released in 3 years. Wow. Sentenced to 20 years, only served 3. That's a damn shame. If he had been kept in prison, all those people would still be alive, and his aunt wouldn't be maimed. The DA said, "There's a 4-year-old now that's no longer with us. There are members of a family who are never going to see their relatives again. That poor baby girl, all those poor victims, they did nothing wrong. They didn't ask for this. A woman minding her own business in her own home. A 4-year-old visiting her grandparents. An aunt and uncle trying to help someone in need. Now they're gone. And one remains to suffer through her life, injured and without them. I'll be praying for all of the victims in this horrible crime and for their loved ones who have been living in this nightmare. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see you on my next video.